Victor.
All right, aloha everyone, and welcome to our 2021-2022 open house. I'm Ronnie Victor. I'm your proud principal, and it is my honor to serve you and your children this year. I would like to thank you for taking time out of your busy schedule again. And I would also like to thank all of the panelists for coming and joining us to present some information that is important for you to know as a parent. Before we start, I'd like to introduce a couple of people, important people around campus. First of all, we have two awesome vice principals, Vice Principal Dr. Davis. Also, we have Vice Principal Lee. I'd like to introduce our counselors just so that you are familiar with their names. I don't believe they're on this um, meeting, but if your child is in the 6th grade, your child's counselor is Mr. Jared Fujigami. If they are a 7th grader, the counselor for 7th grade is Miss Mahealani Santiago. And if your child is a 8th grader, their counselor is Mr. Keith Connie. We also have, I'd like to introduce our PCNC Parent Community Network Coordinator, Mr. Austin Choi. Is he here today, Mr. Vice Principal Lee? He's not here today. Also, I'd like to introduce our registrar. He is key as far as classes schedules go, as far as enrollment and disenrollment. He's the guy to go to. His name is Mr. Eric Oomi. And then we have our Student Services Coordinator, Mr. Matt Billingsley. And also I'd like to introduce our PTSA President, Mrs. Amanda Miyatake. But with us today to represent the PTSA family is Takemi Nakasone, who's the treasurer, and James Kaita, who is Ways and Means. And also, I'd like to introduce our very own, very new Curriculum Title I coordinator. She's also our academic coach, and that is Miss Ria Lula. Wave, Miss Lula. There you go. Thanks. Okay. Next page. Thank you. Kana'au me ke aloha is our vision, and in English it means knowledge and wisdom with compassion. See a split screen. I love technology. It is our friend. All right, KMS Mission. The mission of our school is the faculty and staff and families of Kawananako Middle School. We're committed to helping and guiding your children to develop their fullest potential in becoming productive and contributing members of our society. Our philosophy, our Kawananako Middle School philosophy is that we at Kawananako Middle School believe that every child, no matter who they are, can learn, and each student is a unique and valued individual. We also at Kawananako Middle School believe that students of middle school age experience changes which affect their physical, emotional, social, and intellectual development. In order to educate these students, the school is responsive to all of these changes, especially with COVID going on. Right now, it's so crazy. We just had a meeting with our teachers, and I explained to them that everybody is feeling pressure, but our concern is for our students. That's the top concern. And we are trying our best to keep everybody safe with all of these precautions that we're taking right now. And also, part of our philosophy is that students should have educators who provide skills and knowledge. Are you able to hear me? Okay. All right,
I
KMS,
apologize. We're on this slide, right, Principal Victor?
we're on the next slide, Vice Principal
Okay,
Lee.
thank you.
Yes, you're welcome. KMS Core Values. To be an elite warrior, we like to demonstrate 3 R's: respect, responsibility, and resilience. Respect for everyone and also for our environment, responsibility for everyone and also our environment, and resilience, overcoming obstacles and making sure we set our goals and we achieve them. The next slide talks a little bit about our school history, and I'm going to invite our curriculum coordinator, Ms. Lula, to share that with you.
Hi. Okay. So our school was established in 1927 and we became a middle school in 1999. We're fully accredited by the Western Association of Schools and Colleges, WASC for short, since 2000. Our last 6-year accreditation was granted in 2018 and is good until 2024. Our completion of campus rejuvenation project, it was in 2013, and we celebrated our 90th anniversary and dedicated the newly renovated Princess Abigail Kawananakoa Auditorium in February of 2017. So our student demographics for this year, our enrollment count as of 8/16 was 606 students. So that's broken down into our 8th graders, 7th graders, and 6th graders. So for 8th, we have 213, 7, 160, and 6th, 233. We generally have students from our feeder schools, including Nu'uanu, Pa'oa, Mai, Lanakila, Ko'uluwela, and hold on, sorry. I don't know the last one. Royal, sorry. Approximately 30% of our students are on a geographic exception. And we are going to talk about our KMS alignment with the Hawaii Department of Education. Yes, Mr. Lee will take that over.
Thank you for that, and thank you again, everybody, for the technical difficulties or being flexible and understanding of the technical difficulties that we face from time to time. So, how KMS will align with the Department of Education? Our new superintendent's message is reconnecting students with learning, and it's through a focus, a 3-1-1 focus that highlights student success, staff success, and successful systems of support. And within each of those three, there are subcategories that our interim superintendent had talked about, and also how we at KMS would align to it to provide the best support for our students. So for student success, we know that most of our students had been distance learning for most of last school year, and how we want to encourage their attendance and their transition back to school. We definitely are looking at how to create a warm and inviting environment that is, full with rigorous curriculum, education, but most importantly, the relationships and the reconnection that we have with our students. So how we would do that is to encourage attendance. We would reinforce it with free dress day. We have a KMS tag redemption program where students would get these positive behavioral tags that they could redeem for prizes once a month. We also have our KSA, our student activity association, or kind of like a student council, which plans student activity or student pride type of events that would engage all of our students to be prideful that they are part of our KMS Ohana. And then within some of our teacher leader committees, we're looking at implementing proactive interventions for attendance. So those are definitely things that we are working towards as we have students return to 100% face-to-face learning. Through our academics, we are, providing that challenging curriculum because we do want to we do want to prepare them for college career readiness, yeah. And with that, we're integrating career tech education and computer science as well. We also know that students need time, so through Study Hall, we're providing them additional time and teacher support to meet their academic needs. And we will also be having uplink tutoring, which would be held after schools to provide that additional academic support for our students. The last part for student success would be through social emotional learning, which we had implemented last year through our advisor. Continue to implement this school year. Along with SEL lessons, we will be integrating CTE, career tech education as well, along with other teaming type activities. Staff success. How we want to support our staff, we are providing professional development for them, where we have our professional development that focuses on strengthening relationships with all, differentiating, understanding the various needs of our students, like our English language learners, how to facilitate meetings and whatnot through teacher leaders, and then more professional development through computer science, career technical education, and through curriculum maps as well. And then the last part, successful systems of support, which talks about really the safe return for all, you know, for our students, our faculty and staff, and community members that may need, or essential community members that may need to come onto campus. So with that said, there's 4 main focus that that we are implementing in our school, and these are guided through our health and safety guidance from the Department of Education. And it's this little, the link is found below, and you guys can access it when we are able to share the slides with you guys after our open house presentation. So within that, again, it highlights 4 main parts, ventilation being one. You know, I know that, you know, we have AC in some of our classrooms, so we definitely understand that open air ventilation in the classrooms is the best to prevent the spread of COVID or any type of illness. There is also the consideration for physical distancing, where we encourage and consistently remind our students to be 6 feet apart outdoors. And then within the classrooms, it's 3 feet or as best as possible, with definitely the mitigating measures in place, like face mask, hygiene, personal hygiene, and whatnot, yeah. And then we do have various signs around the school as reminders. We also have our screening before students enter classroom. They have a self-checklist at the door, and then also our cleaning and disinfecting within the classrooms with multiple hand sanitizers around school, around campus, disinfecting sprays that the teachers have to spray down tables before and after use, and then also you know, our hardworking custodians that are continuously cleaning our campus, and definitely those high touch areas. Yeah. Again, for more information about our health and safety guidance that we are implementing at Kawananakoa, we refer back to the state Hawaii DOE document, which again is found on the link below, and you guys will have access to that when our virtual open house is complete. I wanted to touch upon this as well, where we understand that there will be cases around our community, and as much as we have the responsibility to keep ourselves safe and our ohana safe, there will be times where incidences will occur, and how we will prevent that those things from occurring on campus. We have return to school criteria. So if someone is to have COVID-like symptoms, these are the 3 various options that they have. First option being that they would need a negative COVID test. Second one is at least 10-day quarantine. And then the third one is a doctor's note. So these are options that we would provide to parents and families about, these are options we would provide to parents and families for students that may have COVID-like symptoms or had tested positive for COVID at some time. Yeah. And then these are the criteria for those that had tested positive as well. So again, I refer back to the health and safety document that will be provided to you guys through a link to these slides after our presentation today. All right, I want to invite Ms. Lula back to share a little bit more about our Title I status.
Thank you. All right, so with Title I, the intent of Title I is to ensure that all students have a fair, equal, and significant opportunity to obtain a high-quality education and reach, at minimum, proficiency on the challenging state standards. So when we talk about our Title I funds, those are used to ensure highly qualified teachers are in all classrooms, to incorporate practices and professional development opportunities to reduce teacher turnover, supplemental programs such as AR, Teen Biz, IXL for math, science, social studies, and English, and school-wide universal screeners such as STAR reading and math. It's also to provide opportunities to increase parent involvement in our school. Title I status, equal education opportunity, is awarded to a school when a percentage of students that qualify for free and reduced lunch. Last year, we had approximately 52% of our students who qualified for free and reduced lunch. To help Kawananakoa qualify for Title I, we need everyone to apply for the free and reduced meals at the link that's provided, and you will receive that when we're able to provide you with the slides after our meeting. I do know that everyone does receive free lunch this year, but it is important for you to fill out the form if you believe you may qualify, because then what it means is that we continue to keep our Title I status and we continue to have those funds so that we're able to support the items that I mentioned. So, all right, I am going to invite Dr. Davis to discuss our middle school concept.
Hello, everyone, or good afternoon. So our middle school concept. Okay, next slide, please. Okay. So pretty much middle school concept is a more of like was mentioned earlier. We have a team of teachers and students are teamed with those teachers, and so it helps with the transition between elementary school and high school. It helps students master the task of adolescents and also building student support through the team model. And like at Kawananakoa, you folks are all familiar, we have like team 6A, 6B, 7A, 7B, 8A, and 8B, and they stick with their team for the school year. Okay, next, please. At times, they may want to express their independence, and we should be okay with that. So our students, you know, they are going through this part of their life where their bodies are changing and also their brains are developing, and so it's in that transition mode, and so they are starting to learning to become more independent, and they want to be okay with the things they want to do. And I think for all of us, we have to be understanding and provide some consistency and structure for them to be responsible and also to understand how to become a better independent person. Next, please. Okay, so at this time in their life, you know, it's a lot of time now they're transitioning. We all gone through this phase, and it's that time when, you know, peer relationship is like the thing, and like the slide said, peer rules. So it's important to guide them how to develop relationship with others and also to understand what is peer pressure and sometimes when to say no or yes. You know, sometimes you don't always have to say yes to your peers. You got to know when it's why, what are the wise judgments, and sometimes they need guidance from us. So we just need to provide opportunities for them to self-reflect and set goals for themselves so that they can become better contributing members of society. Thanks, please. So again, they might need guidance on how their bodies are physically changing. And also they may need guidance and not just like their body change, but like to care for themselves. So self-care, hygiene. You know, when they were younger in elementary school per se, you know, they were, I remember stories parents were sharing me, yeah, when my kid was in elementary school, they can't wait for me to hug and kiss them. But now when they go to middle school, they don't want, like, mom, dad, what are you doing? You know? So they're changing, right? And so helping them to better, and us being self-aware too as parents and teachers, but always, you know, talking to them is important. Even sometimes they don't want us to talk to them, right? But, you know, we step back, but also listen to them. All right, next, please. They have tendency to exaggerate. Their emotions are already, they're all acting in a lot of emotions also, and it's real. So what do you need to do is avoid, you know, what they call drama. Step back, listen, sometimes reflect, and sometimes it's helpful if you ask them to reflect on their actions and you guide them. And that's what we can also try to do as educators. It's do the best we can to help educate them so they make better choices and be the best they can be. Right. Okay. So they are pulling away from their parents. They become more risk takers, and sometimes they don't consider their actions. They're experimental sometimes at this age. And so again, talk to them about setting goals versus taking risks. Help them to see the reasonable consequences of their actions. I invite Mr. Lee to continue. Thank you.
Sure, Dr. Davis. So how do we meet your child's needs? And like I shared earlier, as we align to our new interim superintendent's message, you know, we want to engage our students in challenging curricula, and at times, you know, that means they experience success, but then also at times they experience a setback, and it's okay. You know, it's good for our students to build their resiliency, to fight through those challenges and those struggles, and ultimately, it helps them persevere to become better, well-rounded humans that we want in our society nowadays. Yeah. Um, we also want to provide many opportunities for them to problem solve, critical think, learn from various experiences as well. Just a disclaimer, because we're still within this whole COVID time, some of these things may not happen. And if it does, and if we do get to move forward with some of these activities, they will have limitations to them, right? So just wanted to put that out there as well. In the past, we did have these various activities that range from flag football all the way to dance team, math team, speech, basketball, whatnot. But again, with our current situation, we do want to have these extracurricular type activities for our students, but again, it will occur with limitations. These are some photos from our previous years, and these opportunities for our students help allows our students to kind of find themselves, what they are interested in, what they might be passionate about, and how that might translate to what pathway or academic journey they may pursue in high school and post-high school. Over here, we, at Kawana Nicole, we do have a big orchestra and band program where we want to provide them opportunities for learning from professional musicians. We also have partnerships with various local companies where they have opportunities to do some job shadowing. And then we also want to encourage, community service, because that helps build, again, that well-rounded type person that we want out of all of our students. At this time, I'm going to invite Ms. Lula to share a little bit about how our AA is structured.
All right, so our AA, so advisor-advisee. Advisory is essentially a comprehensive school-oriented one-to-one relationship between the advisor and the advisee, so teachers and the students, for the purposes of communication and direction. It is also a home base for announcements, attendance, lunch, and other activities. So they have AA every day. Advisory provides each student with at least one staff member who has a thorough knowledge of that student's strengths and areas of growth. So we use that time to really get to know our students and get closer to them to understand them. Advisory enables each student to have an adult advocate in the school, a person who can champion the advisee's cause in student, teacher, and student administrator interactions. So some of the activities or some of the things our KMS advisor would do would be to advocate for the students, develop trust with their small group, so their AA class, be aware of adolescent development and middle school concepts, which Dr. Davis went over. They're able to communicate with the family and the students, support for academic and personal needs, observe behavioral changes, and be a role model. So some of the topics that we tried to cover during AA are our 3 R's, KMS 3 R's, respect, responsibility, and resilience. We'll talk about things that are SEL related, so coping skills, peer pressure, friendship. We also talk about academic skills, so study skills, organizational skills, positive behavior expectations, acceptance, goal setting, team building, trends. And then we'll talk about some more of the emotional side and some more of that. So diversity, relationships, current events, community service, celebrations, and communication skills. So your role as a parent is to be a partner with us. We want to reinforce some of those school rules so there's consistency and it helps them to understand and learn what that is. Help us to support regular attendance, right? We understand things happen, but as much as they can be here, that makes it better so that they're getting all of the information that they need. Take an active interest in your child's learning, ask them some questions, reflect on their day, monitor your child's progress through the Student Planner, Infinite Campus, and Google Classroom. That way you just know how it's going with them and you can talk to them if you see that they're struggling. And that's where the communicate part comes in. So communicate with them, us, and be that active parent. Keep informed, so sign up for those KMS weekly updates, get to know what's going on our campus, check out the campus website, and then support our school activities. So if we have anything going on, try to come out and be a volunteer. Okay, so our family and community engagement. So this kind of leads right into that. So our BOE parent policy talks about communication, right, between home and school, that it's 2 ways, it should be meaningful. Responsible parenting is promoted and supported. Student learning, parents play an integral role in assisting student learning, including successful achievement of the Hawaii content and performance standards. Volunteering, parents are welcome in the school. We're happy to have you. And their support and assistance are sought. Our PTSA will be talking to you, and so that will help us. School decision making, parents are partners in the decisions that affect their children and families. So if you have questions, you can always feel free to ask them. And collaborating with the community. So our community resources are made available to strengthen school programs, family practices, and student learning. So our students understand how the community works and functions. And that leads us, I will invite Takemi from our PTSA. So Ms. Nakasone, if you could share with us.
Thank you, Ria. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Perfect. Hi, everyone. I'm representing KMS's PTSA. My name is Takemi Nakasone. I have a daughter, 7th grader in Team 7A. I have a son who is a graduate or promoted from Kawananakoa, thank God, 3 years. So I've been a parent and supporter of Kawananakoa for about 5 years now. I can talk to slides, but I just wanted to tell you how grateful I am to be a part of the Kawananakoa community. There are a lot of things that Ria said earlier, and Brandon. A lot of the student activities are really geared towards, the kids' development. And I know I come from my MIA family, and as much as my MIA family and PTSA was great and very supportive, what's really important for you to actually get involved in the middle school, I can't stress enough, because they're not cute like kindergarten anymore, right? They're taller than you, they're talk back at you, but this is a really critical years for them before they get to high school. And more importantly, you as a parent, be a part of that, I think, to understand that, not so much get involved maybe with their things, but to understand what's going on. And I think that's why I invite you to be a part of the PTSA. I wondered if you knew what PTSA stands for. It's Parent Teacher Student Association. It's a nonprofit organization, part of a national and state PTSA. And we do things that would actually support not just the students only, but faculty and staff. So I can walk into, Principal Victor's room and say, hey, Ronnie, I was thinking about this. And, we can have that communication with the teachers and staff, and not just your students or your child. Okay, next slide, please. We are made up of a board. Just principally, I think people who actually run the board actually helps to kind of basically collect the money that we need to support the school. So unfortunately, our president, Amanda Miyataki, is not able to attend today, but we do have James Kaito, who is in charge of programs. Say hi, James. Okay, and then
hello everybody.
Okay, and then we have membership Jolene Sato. Ways and Means is a fancy way of saying fundraising. Maravik Kokano. We have Secretary Nicole Ishida, and myself as a treasurer. We also have a very important role in representing each of the grade. Lei represents 6th grade, Flo 7th, and Erin 8th grade. These are basically the parent supporters within the PTSA. And of course, you're going to be seeing in a few minutes Austin Choi, who's a wonderful supporter of PTSA, who lets you know what's happening with the PTSA activities. We also have a very enthusiastic teacher representatives, Miss Mahi and Miss B, who are actually, Miss Mahi is my child teacher, and so is Miss B. They're really great in actually communicating what's happening with PTSA to the teachers and faculty. And of course, you already met administration, principal, and vice principals. So we make up this group of people who actually do meet monthly to talk about what we can do for the students. So what do we do as a PTSA? Like any other PTSA in elementary or even high school, I found out that there's not many PTSAs in middle school, and that's partly because there's only 3 years in school year, right? I mean, you only are there for 3 years. So what can you make a difference in 3 years? We can. A lot of times we fund the buses that you need for field trips. We have school activities like what Vice Principal Lee had told you about, the school activities that we fund for prizes and things like that. He also mentioned about career shadowing. We paid, we try to pay for the buses that go there. We also have a competition called Reflections, which is a part of the state PTSA that allow your child to actually compete in an arts work, and they can get prizes for that. So, and before we even got air conditioning in our classrooms, which is great, we funded the school to have, fans in their classrooms because it was getting really hot. So there's a lot of ways in which we actually use the funds to assist the school. Next slide, please. So, how can you as a parent make a difference? I really would love to hear from you if you're interested in even helping in small or big. I read off the board member list, but most of us actually are probably no longer a parent of a child who goes to Kona. They went on to high school. So we do need people to kind of help us more with those kind of things like fundraising and even myself a treasurer position. So if you're willing to shadow or even just to help out in one of the events, we do have beautifications at campus beautifications. We started doing that kind of thing. So I would really love to hear from you. You can donate financially. We usually have a donation drive coming up. And then please become a PTSA member. And you can actually go online and actually find the form, and you can pay online as well. Okay, next slide. Finally, this is just a snapshot of our website. So please visit our website to kind of find out more about it. It usually does have what's coming up or what's in place right now. Like you probably came to a prep day and ordered some dry fit shirts. That's coming up next week. It will be delivered to your students' classrooms, AA. So hopefully those kind of things you're going to get involved with. Finally, James, would you like to say a few words about your experience as a PTSA member?
Sorry, I'm having technical difficulties. But yeah, my daughter went through Quantico, and her life experiences there was just like unbelievable. My son now a sixth grader there, and I expect nothing but the same experience that she has. The community plays such a great role in all of our children's lives. Like the saying goes, it takes a village to raise a child, and every single parent that I came across that got involved with PTSA really did make such a big difference. They didn't necessarily think that they did, but in actuality, the impact was just exponential. So please, I just plead out to all your parents. You might not think you have something to give. I can guarantee you, you all do, and we will all gain from that experience.
Thanks, James. Okay, now I'm going to introduce you to Mr. Austin Choi.
Hi, before we start Mr. Austin Choi's part, I just want to comment on our PTSA. We are very blessed to have an awesome PTSA board, and the words that they use to describe themselves is not enough. They are usually the people behind the scenes, and they are the go-getters. And for instance, last year, our graduation, because of this COVID situation, was a drive-through. But you know what? They did an awesome job, and all of the parents and students were happy with what we had presented, what we all did for our graduates, which is something very special. It's a rite to passage, and some of them stayed up, came to school early, and decorated the stage, and just unbelievable. So if you would like to be part of that or have that experience to share with your child, I highly recommend that you join our PTSA. It's fun. It's just amazing. And I thank you all for all of your hard work.
Thank you, Principal Victor. Okay, I believe somebody's speaking for Austin.
Yes, so Mr. Choi is not here, but he had some pre-recorded stuff that he wanted to share with everybody. So.
Hello. Hello, everyone. My name is Austin Choi. I am the Parent Community Networking Center, or PCNC for short. I'm also known as the person who sends you emails at the end of each week. I'm sorry I couldn't be present at the open house today, but I hope that this voice recording and wonderful picture of me on the slide will suffice. As PCNC, I am responsible for keeping you folks, the parents and guardians of Kawananakoa, informed and involved with the school. I'm basically like a bridge that connects you with the school, hence the picture of the bridge on the slide. With information constantly changing and evolving, you may be wondering, how can you keep up to date with things throughout the school year? Today, I would like to share 3 main ways that you can bridge that gap and stay connected. Those ways are our newsletters, the school website, and social media. I'll be sharing more information about each in the following slides. The first way to stay in the loop is by keeping up with our newsletters. We have 2 newsletters. First is our KMS updates that are sent out at the end of each week on Friday. The KMS updates include important school information and upcoming events. Second is our Ali'i Warrior quarterly newsletter that is sent out at the end of each quarter. It includes news and student recognition, such as the Ali'i Warrior of the Quarter Awards and Honor Roll. If you registered your email with the school, you should automatically be on our email list. If you or a family member would like to be added to the email list, or if you did not receive any previous communications from me, please send me an email at austin.choi@k12.hi.us, which is on the bottom of the slide. The KMS updates are also available in Chinese. If you or someone you know can benefit from these translations, please send me an email. Again, my email is at the bottom of the slide. The second way you can stay up to date with school news is by checking out our school website, kawananakoa.k12.hi.us. You can find a bunch of resources on there, such as the school calendar, the bell schedule, upcoming events, and much more. All of the newsletters mentioned on the previous slide are posted there as well. I want to draw your attention to the announcements section on the homepage of the school website. That section will be constantly updated throughout the school year with important information for families, so please keep an eye out for that. If you have not already, I definitely recommend bookmarking the school website for future reference. Lastly, we have our social media. We at Kawananakoa are very hip, all right? We are very in with the kids. So you can find us on both Instagram and Twitter at Kawananakoa MS. On our social media, you will find flyers for upcoming events, recaps of past events, recognition of students and teachers, highlights of school activities, and much more. I encourage you to check us out and give us a follow if you would like. Maybe your kids would also be interested in following us as well. We post the same content to both accounts, so please follow whichever is more convenient for you folks. And there you have it, folks. Those are the 3 main ways you as a parent can keep up to date with all the school information. I would like to remind you that you are a partner in your child's education. I encourage you to try your best to remain involved this school year. If you have any questions or concerns about anything at all, feel free to send me an email. I'll try my best to answer your question or connect you with someone who can. Mahalo, everyone. I'm looking forward to working with you this school year.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Choi. Moving on, we want to talk about success for our students. So at this time, I want to invite VP Davis to share a little bit about this section.
Thank you, Vice Principal Lee. Hey, so yes, we are hip but we are also very in tune with ensuring that our students are here and they are doing everything that's needed to become successful. And also, we also want to know what's happening with them in terms of if they're not in school, and that brings us to attendance and absence. So if we encourage attendance every day, unless there is some health issue or some challenges, and you do have to have the child absent from school, please call our office prior to 8 a.m. to let us know that child is being absent. And because we have an automated system that will call out to let you know that the child is not in school. So we're asking for you to be timely about letting us know. Okay. Homework policy. If student is out, then you may request for excused absences homework to be picked up after 3 p.m. in the front office. And prior to picking up, please call us to ensure that the packet is picked up. And we try to give our teachers at least some time to prepare those packets. So because they're teaching, you might not be able to get the packet like right at that moment you're asking for it, but sometimes it takes about, some teachers try to get it within 24 hours, but sometimes it can take up to 24 hours to get it ready. And also we're trying to, with the COVID situation, we're trying to see the best way we can electronically get it to you, if possibly. So if you do have a Gmail account or an email account, please share with us, and then we can scan it from the office and send it to you. And so you'll get it faster. Right. And so off-campus passes, if students need to go off-campus during school time for an appointment, you please call the office. Also, we're asking for your cooperation in coming to the office to sign out the student. So if sometime you might have emergency or you need your child home, we cannot just send them home during the middle of the day. Unlike the afternoon, we release them to you, right? And during the day, you will have to come and sign for the child out. So parent or guardian needs to come and sign the child out in the front office. We cannot just let the child walk over because you live across the street. No, we cannot do that. So please understand that we are doing everything possible to ensuring that our students are safe, and that is one of our safety precautions. Okay, next please.
All right, we're gonna tag team Vice Principal Davis. We'll go every other slide. Next up, we have our school parent communication. How can you communicate with your parents? Easy, email or leave a phone message on their phone. Please note that when they are teaching, they cannot answer your calls right away. However, all of our teachers know that they should respond in a timely manner. Also, we have communication folders that went out on August 4th with all of our students. In that communication folder, there are a lot of important forms for you parents to fill out, such as the emergency cards, free and reduced lunch applications, and all of those important forms that need to be turned in by August 31st. Okay, if your child has not received a folder, they can pick a folder up. Just let the front office know, they can let the teachers know, and we can get them to you folks as soon as possible. Vice Principal Davis?
Thank you, Principal Victor. So all of our students have planners, and also online grading report is happening in Infinite Campus. So it's the responsibility of the student to write their assignments, and our teachers do try to ensure they do. However, if we need your support in reminding them to write their assignment in their planners. Okay, they all have handbooks. The student handbook have information regarding all school rules, absences, tardies, and other policies. And this is again available in the student planner. Grades are communicated via Infinite Campus, and it's a statewide system. Parents, you do have logins, and for sixth grade parents, it will be sent out to you tomorrow, 8/19. It will be sent with passwords. Okay, so please ensure that you have the current information. And, also ensure that we have the current information for you in Infinite Campus, like your address, your phone number, your emails. If you didn't receive one by the end within the week or by tomorrow, please let us know. Please contact the office or Mr. Umi directly. Okay, thank you. Next, Principal Victor.
All right, parents, 7th and 8th grade parents, we need your help. During the school year, last year's school year, we supplied all of our students with Chromebooks. Every single student, over 600 Chromebooks went out. However, we're asking you to have your children return the Chromebooks to us because our teachers need them in the classroom now since they're coming back face to face. And it's critical because a lot of their assignments are online as well as the testing. We're doing our universal screening right now and we're short the Chromebooks. So please, if you can, please have your children bring them to school. This is just for our 6th and 7th grade teachers. I'm sorry, 6th and 7th grade parents. 7th and 8th grade parents. 6th graders did not receive Chromebooks last year, but we are supplying Chromebooks to them, and believe it or not, we're short too because our outgoing 8th graders did not return all of the Chromebooks. So it is a problem, and looking towards the future, if it happens, I'm not saying it's going to happen, but if it happens that we go distance learning, we won't have enough Chromebooks to go out. And it's critical that you help to bring them back. So spread the word. I know it's a small audience that we're speaking to, and you who are here are probably already returned your Chromebooks. So if you know of any other parents or students who have not done so yet, please let them know to return it by Monday. That would help us out a lot. Thank you. VP Davis.
Would now invite Vice Principal Lee to continue.
Oh, sorry.
Sure. Other school rules that we have, we have our school uniforms and our school IDs. It's important that all students wear our school uniform at all times. Mainly the purpose is for safety. We want to ensure our students are safe at school. We want our faculty and staff to identify our students quickly and know that these people on campus should belong at Kawananakoa. We don't want any, visitors or community members that are coming through our campus. And, to ensure safety for all of our students, we want to easily identify those that should be here. These are some examples of how our dress code should not look like. We've had students return back to school that were not in dress code. I understand that we were pretty much a year away from school through distance learning, and we are slowly transitioning back to full face-to-face. So we understand that a lot of our students need reminders about how to dress appropriately at school. So these are all dress code violations. So parents, please help us out. If you see your child leaving your house dressed like this, please give them the reminder to not wear this type of clothing and wear your school uniform and appropriate pants or bottoms. Yeah. Principal, I can continue with this. Tardies, like we talked about earlier about attendance, it's important that your child is here at school on time and ready to learn. We encourage attendance, we encourage students to be here on time because when they're in the classroom, that's when they receive the education that they need and they deserve. So with that said, if they are showing that they're continuously tardy or absent, there may be some consequences that occur, which could occur during recess, lunch, or potentially even after school. Yeah. Other school rules.
Yeah, tag team. Here we go. Tag, give me 5. Tag me. Tag me. There you go. All right. School rules. Personal cell phones are not allowed during school hours. We understand it's important to be connected to your children. We understand how the world is now, and for safety, we just ask that they turn it off during school hours. So all the way up to 8 o'clock, it can be on as long as they're not videoing anyone, that will be acceptable. As soon as the bell rings, turn it off. We ask all of our students to turn it off, not silence it. We ask them to turn it off. If it goes off in the classroom, you know, we give them a warning. And if it occurs again, then we take it away, and then the parent has to come and get it from either me or our two vice principals. And I know it's so inconvenient for you parents to come because you guys are so busy. So please help us with this rule and help your children to understand the importance of turning it off. And also, as school ends, then they can turn it on and they can call you, hey, mom, dad, I'm on my way home. You know, we understand that. So thank you with your help with that. Believe it or not, it's a huge problem. And then, yeah, okay, next, turning it over to Vice Principal Lee. Oh, no, we're close. Yeah, Vice Principal Lee, do you want me to cover the parking lot?
Sure.
The reason I ask is because there's that lady that's standing outside in a parking lot with the big Dr. Seuss hands. I don't know who that is, but she's trying to help with the traffic flow, make sure everything is a-okay and everybody's happy, because everybody, all the parents, I understand, going to work. I gotta get to work on time. So right off the bat, I appreciate your patience and your understanding with the parking, dropping off the students. Okay, so we have really only 2 lanes to drop off the kids. The one nearest the sidewalk and the one right next to that lane. We also improved it and made sure, along with the lady with the Dr. Seuss hand, we have a security guard on the other end, making sure the kids get across that 1 lane of parking safely. The 3rd lane is really for our employees here at the school to bypass all of that waiting in line stuff so they can get to their parking and get to their classes to receive your children on a timely manner. Please do not drop off your students on Funchal Street. Sometimes I've witnessed parents dropping them off on Funchal Street on both sides of the cars. We have students coming up on the right side and the left side. And I had numerous calls from neighborhood people who have told me that it's very dangerous, and I agree with them. So please do not drop your children off on Funchal Street. I know it's hard. I know you gotta wait, but you know, for the safety, let's just wait in line and we'll make it flow as easy as possible. All right. So also in our lanes, we want to make sure your eyes are open and you're alert, because we have a lot of students crossing. So please look out for our key and stay alert for other moving cars. Also, we have security on campus only from 7 o'clock to 3:30. We're kind of lucky because some of our security comes early, so they kind of volunteer their time, but nonetheless, they start at 7 o'clock. We have cones on specific parking lots, and we also have parking stalls. And we also have parking stalls colored in yellow. Those are reserved parking, so please do not park in that area. Otherwise, you can park in the white stalls if there are any available. Usually there are 1 or 2, so shouldn't be a problem. And also, because of COVID and other safety reasons, we are asking that your students be off campus, not 3 o'clock. I think that's a typo. It's not to 3 o'clock. It's immediately after school ends, which is normally 2 o'clock. So if you're picking up your child, come at 2 o'clock, be prompt, and we'll kind of escort them as soon as possible, because we don't want anyone hanging out or just to avoid close contact. just please pick up your children on time. And also, just as a quick reminder, we do have construction projects going on. There's a number of construction projects going on, so parking is limited. So just be aware of that. Thank you. Okay, so in closing, thank you so much. Mahalo for your partnership with supporting your children with us. This critical time of their lives, you know, it's important that they know that they are supported. We're looking forward to a spectacular year. And again, I cannot express how much your support means to us, and we appreciate it. We have a really good staff and faculty on campus, and we, as I communicate to our staff and faculty, we are on the same team. I know you guys see all of the advertisement going on about how teachers are unhappy and not feeling safe. I would like to say that as an administrative team, we are trying our best to keep everybody safe. Our teachers, our faculty, and especially your children. They are top priority, and I will say that over and over again. So if you have a concern, please call me, let me know. I know you guys are not ashamed to let me know, because I had a lot of calls, and you know, we work together as a team to improve and make our school more inviting, more safe, and more healthy for our students. If you can kindly, before you leave, we have a evaluation survey, and if you have any questions, you can include them on this link, and we'll get the answers to you as soon as possible. Also, we have another link here on the bottom. It says visit your open house website for information about your child's teacher. So all of our teachers had done a little slideshow to introduce themselves and what they do here and how they help to educate your children. So please check that out as well. Otherwise,
Oh, sorry, may I make a comment really quick about the open
yes.
house website? Okay,
Yes.
so I had been sending the open house website in the chat, and I was informed that there were some issues with accessing the website, and then some issues being able to view some of the slides from the teams. So I have done my best to access or to correct all of those issues. If you do see anything else, just go ahead and email, and I will make sure to update that and correct it.
All right. All right. So on behalf of Vice Principal Davis and Vice Principal Lee and our curriculum coordinator, Ms. Lula, we would like to thank you for your time, and please have a wonderful evening. Thank you so much for coming. Thank you, Takemi. Thank you, James.